introducing you, Lindsay Spoon.
Right in between it. Okay. We're good? We're good? Okay. So, my name is Lily Spoon. I have cerebral palsy and I also have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I'm a self-advocate and a board member of the Arc of Oklahoma, but I'm here today representing two different United Way organizations. The first one would obviously be the Arc of Oklahoma, but I'm also representing Owasso Community Resources. If you look at that little pamphlet that you guys have, I've been there for 7 years, and they are a food bank that serves the Owasso, Collinsville, and Sperry areas. I do reception work for them, and I have been doing that for 7 years. It's been a wild ride, but I love every single minute of it. It gives me so much, and when they say Live United, it means so much to me, because giving back to people is such a passion that I have. And the second would be the Arc of Oklahoma. I love that the Arc of Oklahoma supports not only me and my advocacy efforts, but other friends of mine. One of my biggest advocacy efforts right now is towards mental health, specifically in crisis patient care for people that have wheelchairs. In the state of Oklahoma, there is no inpatient facilities that will take people that use wheelchairs. And I've struggled with mental health, and I'm very thankful that the ARC got a grant to help with mental health and stuff like that. So, like I said, advocacy is a fight, but there's such beauty in it. It's not just bills and legislation we're changing, it's people's everyday lives that we're changing, that we're impacting on an everyday basis. I volunteer, I hand out food, I talk to multiple people on a daily basis who are needing help with food and utilities and advocacy assistance. It's not just bills and legislation that you're impacting by giving to the United Way or all these partner agencies that you're impacting. You're impacting people's everyday lives. And I want to thank oneok for allowing me to be here today. And I also want to thank oneok for being one of the only, not the only agency who does this, but one of the only agencies who actually will match volunteer hours to when a person volunteers. You don't know how impactful that is, because you're raising more money, and because of that, you're impacting more and more lives. If there's any questions that you guys want to ask me, go right ahead. By living united, we're not living divided. By living united, we're not living divided, and we're living to include people that have intellectual and developmental disabilities, such as the Arc of Oklahoma and Owasso Community Resources are two great agencies who do that. And I'm just very thankful to be here today on behalf of the Arc of Oklahoma, but also on behalf of Owasso Community Resources. And yeah, by by living united, we're not living divided, we're living to improve people's everyday lives. And no amount of money could ever you can never know how much money could impact a person's life. And that's why we're here today, is to show you the real impact that you guys are making on people's lives, such as mine, by giving to the Ark of Oklahoma, and by giving to also community resources, and by giving to the Tulsa United Way. Yeah. So. If there's any questions, I would be more than happy to take them, but that's all I have.
Lindsay, I do have one question. Am I on? I do have one question.
Yes.
You had an opportunity to speak at the state capitol last week. March was Disability Awareness Month, and you had an opportunity to speak at the state capitol. I saw some pictures of you. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yes. I got to speak on behalf of the Ark of Oklahoma, and the Ark is one disability rights organization, like Lisa said, aimed at promoting and protecting the rights of individuals with developmental and intellectual disabilities in their families across diagnosis and across Oklahoma. And it was very wonderful. I also got a meeting with 2 legislators to talk about inpatient crisis care facilities in the state of Oklahoma for people that are impacted by mental health. 17.4 million adults with disabilities are impacted by mental health, 4.6 times than adults do without disabilities. That's according to the National Library of Medicine. So it was great to sit down with them and actually potentially draft a bill for inpatient crisis care when it comes to mental health. And by sharing these stories, by sharing my story, I'm hoping that it'll impact somebody else, so they don't have to go through what I've gone through. Any other questions?
Lindsay, I do have a question for you. Whenever we spoke, you mentioned how important it was for you to get a job at the Owasso community thing. Could you tell us a little bit more about how they supported you in getting you a job and kind of giving you structure day in, day out?
Yes, they have given me a job for the past 7 going on 8 years. Right out of high school, I was hired, not technically hired, but a volunteer. But I go there every single day from 11 to 2. You can come and see me if you want, or you cannot. But they have given me such life, and oh my God, it's gonna make me cry. No, it makes me emotional because they have given me such a life, and I can never give them as much as they have given me and other people in return. And I hope by doing a very small part of volunteering on a daily basis helps somebody else in a way that impacts their life. That way we can all live united.